Scott mentioned, that I like to tell stories. So, in this story, and excuse me while I bring it up too, because the font is so small. Um,
Apologies if the font is small. You can if the what did I just say? The font is small. You can actually put us on your television by using the casting option,
yeah, or get a big microscope.
or
Yeah.
get a really big
Um,
microscope.
yeah. All right. So in this analogy, you've got a couple product owners. Um, you have a glass person who makes glasses is a glass blower. We'll make that Scott because he blows hot air. Um, the the
You're not
cheese
wrong.
guy, the cheese guy. I have the beard, so I'll play the cheese guy. But these are product owners, and you're going to hear that a lot in the coming weeks and months and years if you haven't already about data products. And I'll talk a little bit about that later and where you might get some more information on that. But you've got these people that are creating products in this world. One's making glasses, one's making cheese. And all the way on the right, you have basically a restaurant that is going to ship some wine and some cheese. And so the products are created, um, and they're put into some sort of a packaging because they're going to get shipped overseas. And so the observability is, did the correct number of items make it to each container? Um, a quality would be, do the weights of the products match the order? Are the destination addresses valid addresses? So we talk about a lot about address cleansing and things like that. So those are quality rules. They're not observability rules. And before we go too far, I do want to qualify, when I say observability, I mean, every time I say that word, I mean data observability.
Yep.
Observability today is an ecosystem, and it should be. And it should have connective tissue to things like the observability of platforms, which is different than the observability of data. Yes, I can have something observe my data platform and tell me if it's up, if it's down, if it's under distress because of performance. But can it tell me that I had a column go null? Can it tell me that decimal points moved? No, because it's not talking SQL. It's not talking data, right? So in this, I'm not saying in lieu of something like Splunk. I'm saying in addition to it, we have to evolve our understanding of observability to be more of an ecosystem, much like the way we think about data. So now that we have our products, they're going to get on a ship, and I won't go through each one of these, but then when the ship is traveling, there's events, right? There's weather, there's time, there's resources on the ship, right? So if you're observing the events, will events like weather, theft, or resource constraints impact the delivery time of these items? From a quality perspective, will the events like weather impact, the original requirements around, whether each of those crates were chilled appropriately so that the cheese didn't go bad and things like that. And then as you move on, did all the containers arrive undamaged? That's an observability trait. Did the items pass inspection? So yes, they came in one piece, they got there on time, but once you unpack them, again, get into the table, the data table, um, did everything get there as expected? Did it pass inspection? That's a quality rule, right? So again, observability and quality working together. And then at the end, this is kind of unique because I get into the sort of the business context of this. Are the patrons getting their meals and wine served in under 15 minutes, which is the restaurant's SLA, right? And then from a quality perspective, when they leave, what's their Yelp rating of those things? Another quality item would be, what is the health code rating of the restaurant? So then you have sort of this whole observation of the restaurant from a customer perspective, but then you also have, quality questions about atmosphere and food and and things like that. So to just kind of put it in context, you can't do those those two things independently when we're talking about the future of data, and that you need to be able to observe what's happening in the ecosystem. And I'll use the words active metadata, and what I mean by that is that as things are changing inside of the data pipeline, you're getting feedback about that as active metadata. Those become inputs into observability, and that can also feed into your larger data layer in your larger ecosystem to say, here's what's going on in your environment.